The big secret behind Batista's shocking health transformation. Dave Bautista, known to millions of wrestling fans as Batista, is not only celebrated for his legendary career in WWE, but also for his successful transition into Hollywood as an actor. However, the story of Batista's health, particularly in relation to his dietary and fitness journey, is an often overlooked aspect of his life. From his days as a young bodybuilder consuming vast amounts of calories and protein to his transformation into a healthier lifestyle, Batista's relationship with his body has evolved significantly over the years. His journey reveals not just a personal transformation, but a struggle against injuries, dietary issues, and the impact of a life spent in the ring. Early bodybuilding and calorie-heavy diet. Batista's early days in bodybuilding saw him following a diet that, by today's standards, was quite extreme. Like many aspiring bodybuilders, his goal was to consume large amounts of calories, protein, and fat to build and maintain muscle mass. The typical bodybuilding diet often includes foods high in protein, such as red meat, chicken, dairy, and eggs, along with substantial amounts of carbohydrates to fuel workouts and recovery. In Batista's case, he consumed copious amounts of dairy, meat, and protein shakes as part of his calorie-heavy diet. At the time, this was seen as the best way to pack on muscle mass, and like many bodybuilders, Batista was focused on size, strength, and aesthetics. However, as the years went on, it became clear that this approach wasn't sustainable for his health. Discovery of dairy allergy in 2005. In 2005, during the height of his WWE career, Batista made a critical discovery about his health. After experiencing digestive issues and discomfort, he learned that he was terribly allergic to dairy. This revelation was a turning point for Batista, as dairy had been a significant part of his diet for many years. He immediately cut dairy out of his diet, realizing that his body was not responding well to it, and that continuing to consume it could have long-term consequences for his health. The effects of cutting dairy were profound. Removing it from his diet alleviated many of the digestive problems he had been suffering from, allowing him to feel better and more energized. It was also a wake-up call about how much he had neglected his body's signals. This change marked the beginning of Batista's broader journey towards health and wellness beyond bodybuilding and wrestling. Cutting out red meat and pork in 2010. While the removal of dairy from his diet was a significant change, it was only the first of many. By 2010, Batista had begun to reconsider other aspects of his nutrition. At this time, he decided to cut out red meat and pork from his diet. This decision was influenced by a combination of health concerns, ethical considerations, and personal preference. Many studies had already pointed to the risks of consuming large amounts of red meat, particularly in relation to heart disease and cancer, and Batista, ever conscious of his health, chose to eliminate these foods. This was a major shift for a man who had built much of his body on high-protein, meat-heavy meals. Red meat had been a staple in his diet during his bodybuilding and wrestling days, providing the protein and fats necessary to fuel his rigorous physical activity. However, as he grew older and more aware of his body's needs, Batista recognized that his body wasn't reacting well to these foods anymore. The digestive issues, inflammation, and other negative side effects prompted him to adopt a cleaner diet, focusing more on leaner proteins and plant-based foods. The toll of wrestling injuries. In addition to his dietary changes, Batista's health was also impacted by the physical toll of professional wrestling. Known for his imposing physique and explosive style in the ring, Batista often found himself battling injuries throughout his WWE career. He suffered multiple muscle tears, bicep injuries, back problems, and knee issues, all of which required surgeries and rehabilitation. These injuries were not uncommon for professional wrestlers, but for Batista, they became a driving force in his decision to eventually step away from the ring. By 2010, as his wrestling career began to wind down, his body was feeling the strain of years spent performing high-impact moves. The physical demands of wrestling had left him in constant pain, and he knew that he needed to make long-term changes to maintain his health. Transitioning to a plant-based diet in 2021. In 2021, Batista made perhaps the most significant shift in his diet by cutting out poultry entirely and transitioning to a more plant-based approach. This change came after years of refining his diet and listening to his body. By eliminating poultry, Batista essentially removed all forms of animal meat from his diet, focusing instead on plant-based sources of protein, such as legumes, nuts, seeds, and plant-based protein powders. This move toward a plant-based diet was driven by multiple factors. Firstly, as Batista grew older, he became more conscious of the environmental and ethical implications of consuming meat. Secondly, he found that cutting out animal products led to improved digestion, better energy levels, and reduced inflammation in his body. Many athletes have similarly discovered the benefits of a plant-based diet, which can provide all the necessary nutrients for muscle repair and recovery, while reducing the risks associated with animal products. Managing life after wrestling. While Batista's wrestling career officially came to an end in 2019, his commitment to fitness and health has remained strong. His rigorous workout routine, combined with his plant-based diet, has allowed him to maintain his muscular physique even in his post-wrestling years. As an actor, Batista continues to push his body in different ways, whether through stunt work or intense physical preparation for roles, particularly in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, where he portrays Drax the Destroyer. Batista's decision to focus on a cleaner, more plant-based diet has also had a positive impact on his mental and emotional well-being. In interviews, he has spoken about feeling more balanced and centered as a result of his dietary changes. The discipline required to stick to such a strict regimen has also translated into other areas of his life, allowing him to stay focused and motivated in his acting career and personal pursuits. In conclusion, Dave Bautista's health journey is a testament to his adaptability and commitment to his well-being. From his early days as a bodybuilder consuming high-calorie, meat-heavy meals, to discovering his dairy allergy in 2005, cutting out red meat and pork in 2010, and eventually transitioning to a plant-based diet in 2021, Batista has evolved significantly in how he treats his body. His experience with injuries and the physical demands of professional wrestling further underscored the importance of maintaining a healthy lifestyle. Today, Batista stands as an example of how athletes can not only recover from the physical tolls of their careers, but also thrive through conscious dietary and lifestyle choices.